Good afternoon. Today we shall be discussing and talking on a particular topic, that is children's film. Now, children's film is a specific genre, just like many other genres in the platform of filmmaking and film industry in general. Now, children's film is categorically a very different one, since it requires more attachment, more specific attention on the part of the director while making the films. And not only that, the director has to keep in mind that who are the target audience. Now, while the target audience is they are the children, naturally and necessarily the director is cautious emotionally, intellectually, and aesthetically. Children's film is the history of children's film is, of course, quite a huge one. And we generally see that while making films for the children, the director is very much cautious, attentive about the psychological development of the children in general. Now, childhood is that particular phase of human development and growth that is very subtle and that fluctuates continuously and that is experimental by nature. Now, children and the growth of the child's mind is something that is very inquisitive in nature. So, while making films for children or on the children, a director will be very serious, he will be very experimental, and at the same time, he must maintain certain logic, certain rationality, certain parameter so that the boundary, the limitation never crosses. So the development of the children's mind, that is primarily is the concern of the director of the children's film, is that it is a process that is called evolutionary in nature. So the child's brain, the surroundings of the children, how do the children behave, what kind of impulses they take from the society, from the culture, from the family. These are very necessary things while making the films in general. And at the same time, it is also a biological process. Since the body and the mind of a child grows in a very subtle manner, and it is something that is or that often respond to different situations, and that can have certain impact on the mind of the onlooker. And when the onlooker is a child, so it can have a grave and a serious everlasting impact on the mind of the children. So for that very reason, we know that the director takes extra care, the director takes extra courage making films for the children or on the children. So children's film is a very serious subject matter, as it is in the case of the grown-up people, or in some cases it is more serious issue than the grown-up people at the same time. And we know that it is, of course, a very fascinating experience for the on the part of the director, because the director explores some hidden, not so highlighted zones of a particular subject matter, and that helps him a lot to make or to characterize the whole pattern in such a way that makes the whole thing novel, that makes the whole thing very interesting. Because to keep the audience, when the audience is a child, and to keep his attention intact is never a matter of joke. The director is very, very, professional practitioner of this particular genre who knows what can attract the attention of a child. So, children's film is such a package. It is such a kind of a composite element that talks a lot about children's psychology, children's brain, and the kind of taste and the flavor that a child likes. So these are all to be incorporated. These are all to be kept in the mind. At the same time, we are to say that children's film has certain limitations, okay, regarding the message, regarding the kind of socio-political complexities, and the kind of presentation of the characters, the presentation of the scene, presentation of the language, and everything. Certain limitations are very much there. So, making the film for the child is never an easy task. I would like to mention a few names of the children's series of films, for just like Finding Nemo that came in 2003. In 1942, there was a film called Bambi, and we have another film, Spirited Away, that came in the year 2001. So, in all the cases, what we find, the director is primarily dealing with the issue of fear, terror, trauma. And not only that, the director is very much cautious about the presentation of the characters in the film who are facing certain situations that is hazardous in nature. Now, the audience and the characters, when both are children in the filmmaking process and experiencing children's film, now certain situations in which the director actually puts the characters in a questioning of some hazardous situations, some problematic situations of the life, and then how to come out of the problems that ultimately helps the audience to cope up with the situations of the real life problems. It is something that helps the spirit of the particular audience to get boost up and to know it well, to how to tackle certain difficult situations of the life, how to control something that is beyond the control, how to take precaution of certain conditions that they can learn through watching films like this. Now, children's film are basically made on several sub areas of human emotions and the social connections, just like attachment. Okay, so how are the children attached to one and the other? Just like we have the, so many films like, the Amir Khan, in which he starred the particular film Tare Zameen Par. Now, if we talk of the film Tare Zameen Par, and the protagonist, the little boy who had a certain physical disorder and some problem in understanding, problem in writing the letters on the blackboard and on the exercise books. Now, the director is dealing with such kind of a condition that is very common. And it is not like that. It's a rare kind of a disease. Rather, so many children across the globe, they are having such kind of psychological, neurological problems. So, what to do? And they are often, not at all, or in most cases, they are not understood by the parents, by the family members, by the neighbors, by the teachers even. And the kind of maltreatment those boys, those little children, they often receive, it hampers their mental growth. So such kind of a movie, as I was trying to mention, Tare Jamin Par, really helpful for all of us, with a certain message in the society, how to be, it deals a lot, talks a lot on different issues, just like how to deal with kids having certain problems like this, and how to handle situations if we have children like this in our society. Number one. Number two, the concept of teaching. The concept of teaching is a very delicate profession. A teacher must be a psychologist. A teacher must know what the children expect. A teacher must know how to behave with them. A teacher must know how to tackle individuals problems, and teacher must know that not all the boys are same. They are representatives of different culture. They are representatives of different society. Naturally, since they are representing different platforms, so physical ailments they may have different kinds. So naturally, a teacher will be very curious to know, and he will be very sympathetic. He will be very inquisitive, and he will be a psychologist, a counselor at the same time. Tare Jamin Par, of course, is a very eye-opening movie in a society that we really need to have. So, attachment is something that a kid wants. Attachment is something, another movie. This one is a Disney movie, Walt Disney movie, and the name of the movie is The Lion King. In the movie The Lion King, this animation movie, we find the story of a father lion, and who is guiding the cub, the baby lion, the male baby lion, and helping out the male baby cub how to, face the situation in the forest. And now the premature death of the father lion, and the kind of problems the baby lion had to face, and how the baby lion, took shelter going far away from its den, and then gradually it came back later, recognizing, knowing the overtaking all the kind of problems, psychological problems. So such kind of a movie, of course, talks a lot about everyday situations, the kind of trajectories of life, the kind of difficulties of life, how to face treachery in life, and how to overcome all those negativities, and then pushing all the negativities away. Such kind of a movie really is necessary. We have Bengali movies like Posto. Bengali movie Posto talks a bit about a little boy, and it deals primarily of the modern day situation when the parents are very busy with their career, and they don't have neither sufficient amount of money. They are always in a kind of a crisis of losing the job, crisis of the hectic schedule of the job, and they have very less amount of time to spend with their kids. And what to do with kids like this when the parents go to the offices, putting the child in a creche, and they come back from the office and then take the children from the creche and then come back to home. So if this is the condition, if this is the situation when the kids are growing up with the grandparents, and the parents actually have no time to spend with him or her, if we would like to know the situation of our time, then we need to watch movies like Posto, and so many other movies. So this is all about the condition. So making film for the children is never at all. It's talk a lot about parenting issues. So parents and the children, this very necessary. I would like to refer to another movie that I watched so many years back, around 20 or 25 years back. This one is Homecoming. Okay, and or we have so many movies like Baby's Day Out and something that is very funny, but at the same time such movies give a very specific message that in some cases the parents are not very curious about the children, about the boys and the girls, and they are very busy with their own schedule, own office, own job and entertainment. So they are missing their parents. So parenting is obviously a very serious message that we need to have. One film that is a very 5 minute long short film that is right in my mind. It's also about a little boy and a teacher who is every day late in the school, and the teacher is regular punishing the boy just the moment he enters the classroom with a slap on the palm with a scale, and the boy goes to the back bench and every other thing repeats. Teacher is very curious, so the boy is every day very late. So one day at the time of the school hour, uh, accidentally he could witness the boy actually has the duty to perform just before the school hour. He has a sibling probably who is physically disabled, but that sibling, he puts the sibling in a wheelchair and then presses the wheelchair on, and then he settles the sibling there first and then runs for the school. And that's why, since the two times squalors every day, the boy is late every day, and the boy is also mentally prepared to get punishment from the teacher. Now, when the teacher could witness such kind of an event on that day, he couldn't punish the boy. Rather, the scale with which he hurts the boy every day, on that day, he offers the scale to the boy and, offers a kiss on the palm of the little boy. Now, this very short film named Sorry, uh, brilliant because it talks a lot about society, culture, and everything. Because and we have so many films around on the children, just like friendship. Childhood is, of course, that very uh, glorious phase of an individual. The real essence of friendship can be enjoyed at that very moment. Now, one movie that I can't remember right at this moment, but in the movie there was a boy who is actually representing well-to-do life, and he is uh, quite, he belongs to the rich family, and another boy who is in the railway platform who belongs to the poor family. Now, what happens? It was the train that abruptly started, or probably one of the pair of the shoes of that rich boy, it fell on the railway track, and it was witnessed by that little boy who represented the poor family. Now, the little boy started running on, and then somehow he could manage to collect by another pair of the shoe of that rich boy. But when he was about to throw the pair of shoe, it was beyond the capacity to throw it to the compartment. And that little boy, who was already in the train with only one pair of shoe, When he found that the single pair of shoe is actually of no use, so what did he do? Uh, he threw the another pair. Thank you, Priti Shaha, and the one pair is the name of the film. And he threw the another pair to that poor boy. At least he can have both the pairs and can enjoy, you know, wearing some good shoes. Who actually didn't have any. So, filmmaking is a serious job. It's never a matter of joke. Filmmaking is something responsibility to the society with some serious attempt to rectification, to highlighting some of the issues that we don't look at or something that we overlook in our daily communication, in our daily affair. So it's all about the responsibility of the director also on the part of us, that to help the little boys grow up. They will grow up watching movies. They will grow up having certain messages. They will get message at the same time, and they will also get entertained. Entertainment and a good message that can be very memorable and that can help the child to grow up gradually. Now, this is how actually, but at the same time, there are certain exceptions which are to, are to be mentioned. Number one is a film that came in 1973, The Exorcist. A film that came in 1999, The Sixth Sense. In both the films, we know that the presentation of the children was there, but it is something to be mentioned at the same time that those are not to be recommended for children, because however presentation of the children were there, but these films were not actually children's film at all. So it is to be kept in mind which one to recommend for the children and which one is not. So it is something walking on a very sharp edge. So you have to be very, very balanced. You have to be very, very knowledgeable. You have to be very, very sincere about what you are trying to show and what not to show. So that's all we had to discuss in this preliminary class on children's films and movies. And so many thinkers are there, and they have numerous suggestions and opinions and commentaries. What should be the features and what should a film maker should follow while making the films. We have so many films around us, just like Gupiga in Baghabain is a very brilliant and popular film made by Satyajit Ray. But interestingly, when Gupiga in Baghabain is very popular among the children, at the same time we have to mention that it is of course a film that can be enjoyed by the elders. So one film that can soothe the hearts of the elders, on the other hand, it is similarly enjoyed by the kids at the same time. So here is the success of a filmmaker. Here is the potentiality of a filmmaker who knows in what particular way one should go, follow, and one should actually present the whole setup in such a way everyone can have their own food for thought while watching such kind of films. Thank you so much. Thank you for your patient listening.